Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Whatever, Whenever, the show where we talk about whatever we want, whenever we want. I am Robin.
And I'm the Mentok. I'm sipping some water right now.
Nice. And we have the long-awaited episode today for you all. The episode where we complain about the Game Grumps for an hour straight.
I know everyone's been dying for this episode.
Yes. I just want to preface... Probably not, honestly. I want to preface this by saying that neither of us have any association with the Rant Grumps subreddit. Neither of us have gone on there, I don't think. And so don't take this as us coming from that subreddit and just regurgitating what they say. If we end up saying things that sound similar to things they've said, then it's entirely coincidental.
Yeah, I've totally denounced that subreddit. I've gone there a couple of times, and there's some constructive criticism there, but most 98% of the time it's really toxic in there.
It's mostly just toxic garbage, and we don't condone that. So
yeah, agreed. So there's gonna be no insanely personal attacks. In this episode.
No personal attacks on anybody. No, nothing like that. It's just us airing out our grievances with a channel that we used to like, but have grown to not really like in recent years because we don't, for various reasons.
Okay, so
I'll let you start.
Yeah, I guess I'll start by giving a quick intro to the Game Grumps and who they are. Pretty much is one of the pioneers of Let's Plays, I guess. After, I don't know, I think PewDiePie is before them, but they kind of changed up Let's Playing in a sense where it's just two guys on a couch just talking shit. And I don't think that they're the first to do it, but I think they're one of the most successful to kind of have that format going, especially with no camera. So it started with Aaron Hansen and John Tron.
Yeah.
I think his full name is John Jafari.
Yeah, John Jafari.
Right. And then Aaron Eagle Raptor Hansen, who was popular from, Newgrounds and quite popular in the animation community back in the day.
Yeah, he was famous for doing Sequelitis and then never
the awesome
ever,
series before that. Yeah, I think it was more of that's his claim to fame, and then Sequelitis got pretty damn popular during that time. It
got pretty popular, and then he never made another episode.
So it started with them, and I will be honest, I didn't watch it during that period. I knew it existed, and I watched a couple of them, but I wasn't really interested in Let's Plays at all in their early phase. Even when PewDiePie started, I saw some clips of him, and he was the screamy type. A lot of people were doing that, actually. Everyone was kind of emulating that. I'm going to throw Markiplier under the bus, too. He was a screamer, and they would, I don't know, they would get, super annoying with it, so I'm glad that they grew out of that and stopped doing that. But there were some charming parts about the two of them, right? I think that Game Grumps took a different approach and kind of played old games like Pokemon, and Sonic 06 is what kind of brought the popularity of them to fruition.
Sonic 06 is their Let's Play of that is famous for having that infamous clip where Knuckles gets stuck in the wall, or maybe that was Sonic Adventure 2. Either one, it was Knuckles.
It was 06 for sure.
Okay, yeah, it was 06. Knuckles got stuck in a wall, and then there's that famous clip of Aaron walking up and getting out of the room, and John trying to get him to come back and play the game, and he just says, no, you gotta draw a line in the sand and say, what am I willing to do when I wake up today? Not fucking this, or something like that.
Ricky, you can put 5 seconds of that on.
Yeah,
there,
just put the clip in. Go ahead.
I appreciate it, but look what we're dealing with, man. Aaron, you gotta draw the line somewhere. Aaron, we gotta draw a fucking line in the sand, dude. Aaron, we gotta make a statement. You gotta look inside yourself and say, what am I willing to put up with today? Not fucking this.
So yeah, it was. I think at that point it was just genuine guys just hanging out and just kind of getting that excitement and laughter out of those games and talking about their experience with the games and stuff like that. And I think when you're starting off with that, it's very easy to pick games, right? You know, your favorites or things that you know are notoriously bad. And then once you like, you know, put in enough work, like you kind of run out of ideas, right? But it started with them, and then, you know, famously John left. And that was like the start of like some huge drama on the internet for how long? Like, oh my God, what happened between Aaron and John? And there's like a video called Ode to John where he's like outside somewhere. He's not even saying bye with the rest of the cast. Is just like clearly filmed somewhere else. And he's like, yeah, you know, I had a great time here with the Game Grumps, but I'm going to move on to other projects. And then he went back to his channel and, you know, did tremendously well there until he ran into his own fair share of controversies. But I think like that's where we'll leave the John part out.
Yeah, we'll leave him there for at least for right now. Oh God, there goes the dog.
Yeah, so I mean that's the kind of how they formed, and then of course Aaron replaced John with Danny Sexbang from Ninja Sex Party.
I'm never gonna get over that fucking name.
It's a horrible name. I never like it. Never.
It's that name horrible, never, but it's also great.
Yeah, it never sat with me well, but whatever. I mean, I think like that early age of YouTube had that kind of like blatant type of culture, I guess, like where that stuff was funny, and like I guess the content he was putting out was like very sexual humor and very,
it's all sex jokes. And the best part about those old Ninja Sex Party videos, which by the way, for those of you who don't know, that's the comedy band that Danny is a part of. Those like the best part about them was always Ninja Brian for me, because like his whole shtick was that he's like a ninja who never talks at all.
Right, and he's half of the band, so
yeah,
it's literally one person singing.
Yeah, it's just Danny singing, and then he and Brian do like their own thing too.
So yeah, I know Brian does work with it behind the scenes, or I'm not sure how active they are now, but like I know that he was doing a lot of the management and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, those two became the modern Game Grumps that we know today. And honestly, like it was a rocky start for Danny. People were like, "Where's John? And what happened to John? And when's John coming back? This guy sucks." And I think, you know, I'll give props to Danny. He had to get through a lot of that type of bullying and people getting used to like a new formula, but I think in those early stages, they got along very well, and that's kind of where I got on board. They started playing games like, you know, Wind Waker and like indie games, where they clicked very well. I think if you go back to a lot of those old episodes, there's a lot of pretty good comedy there. But I initially really started watching them around the time where they did Sonic Boom. And I think that was around 2014 or whenever Five Nights at Freddy's dropped. It was around that time because I was watching them synonymously with Markiplier when he was doing Five Nights at Freddy's. So yeah, that was my first experience with them, and I would honestly watch. They would post twice a day, and I would actually watch, you know, twice a day whenever it was on. Like I had a lot of time to just kind of consume YouTube, and that was my early phases with them. And I think that content holds up. You know, it's not something that I'm like, oh, I've grown out of this humor. Like I actually go back and still kind of laugh a little bit, even though it's been a while. So that's kind of a biography on the Game Grumps up to where they are today. Yeah. They started involving a lot of other people, like their editor and other associated acts with their content too. So they were posting a lot every single day, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
I think they had like 3 uploads a day.
Yeah, they had like a few series going on for a while too. Like Steam Train and all that.
That was a lot of content. But they also were with Maker Studios for a while, which we've talked about on the podcast before. Yeah. You know, PewDiePie also worked with Maker, so like they were kind of under this umbrella, so they kind of throw resources at you. You can do a lot of stuff with those resources, but contract, like financially, it's probably not in your best interest.
Yeah.
Which is why all those studios kind of died.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll kick it over to you, Robin. When did you first get engaged with them?
So I knew about them for a while, but I didn't start watching them until I was like in high school. I'd say maybe like 2015 was when I first started watching them. I started watching them because like they were mostly doing like Mario Maker stuff, and I heard that their Mario Maker videos were funny, and so I watched those. I ended up kind of preferring a lot of their older videos with like John in them, just because that was back when Aaron was still really edgy. In fact, I remember this one clip of like him and John were like he managed to like say something that kind of like made even John go, wait, what? Aaron was like, hey, do you want to hear my impression of the YouTube comments? And then he just screamed as loud as he could the N-word as like at like the top of his lungs. And then John was like, Aaron, did you just say the N-word? And then Aaron was like, what? I'm just imitating the YouTube comments. That's how they say. That's what they say.
You could get away with a lot of that stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, this is back when I was like a really edgy little shit myself, so I was like listening to all those.
I mean, he's not wrong either. That's what the comment section was like back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know what YouTube did, but it was just very gradual, and the comment section is actually a lot more useful in videos these days.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think when I stopped watching their show was like kind of after the whole Pro Jared stuff happened, because I was very unhappy with how they all handled that. Like, for those of you who don't know, they had Pro Jared on as a guest on one of their shows, and when all the allegations broke and stuff, they like immediately privated like all of their videos that they'd ever done with Pro Jared before it even hit the public, and it came out that like all of those allegations of him being like a pedophile and stuff were like pretty much proven to not be the case, at the very least,
Yeah.
So, as kind of like after that, I was kind of like, all right, I'm just kind of, because like I'd already kind of gotten tired of them by that point, and I was kind of just like, all right, I'm just done.
Yeah, I mean, for me on the opposite end, like, you can kind of hear them getting extremely exhausted of doing their own content.
Yeah, no, that was another thing too, is I felt like they didn't really want to do it anymore, but they were just still doing it. Like, it felt like their heart wasn't in it.
So, like, since we have a lot of time to talk about this, so like,
yeah, no,
I guess
we still got like 50 minutes.
Yeah. So before I get to that, like, I did watch a lot of Aaron's animations and content growing up because I was very immersed in YouTube, and he was like at the top of the charts all the time, because he did like create this type of short, like it was super short and random and funny, which was what people my age at the time, like high school and all that, like we were into that.
Oh yeah, you're from the lol so random generation of humor, aren't you?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, millennials. That's a millennial thing, and whatever. We walk so you guys could run with whatever humor is out right now. I'm seeing like a lot of things where I'm staring at it, and like, I don't get this, like, but I don't knock Gen Z humor whatsoever. I'm like, we had our time. Like, we came up with the freaking LOL comics, which.
The Rage comics.
Yeah, the Rage comics. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like everything had LOL in there and Reddit and like the same faces. Oh god.
Yeah, no, I'm glad those died off. I mean, they're coming back kind of ironically, but.
Oh, please don't do it to me. But anyway, yeah, that Awesome was very much like that. It was like a very random type of humor, but it also kind of like summarized a lot of true things about the favorite games that we played, like Metal Gear Solid, and I'm surprised that he did one on Knuckles Chaotix as well, like, which makes me think that he knows a lot more about like the Sonic franchise than he lets on. Like,
yeah,
he did a whole video about an obscure Sega game from like '95 for the Sega 32X, which nobody had. It's kind of fascinating that like he picked that game out of all the other Sonic games that were out at the time. So anyway, like he did a lot of those shorts, and I think he even was featured on like an MTV thing on their website one time called like the M Spot.
Oh, I think I remember him.
Or is it the G Spot?
I don't remember.
No, I don't think it's that. Or I think it's like G Hub or something like that. I really remember like his videos starting off like that, like or the G Hole, something like that.
Something.
I don't know. MTV would have done something stupid like that.
Yeah, it sounds worse the more you try and remember what it was. But yeah,
YouTube, don't demonetize us.
but yeah,
I'm just kidding.
I think
We're
I
not
remember.
monetized.
I think I remember him recounting a story, something like that, where he was like paid to like have a video hosted on like a website for like 10 years or something, and he was at the time it was like really good money. Like looking back, it was kind of like a shitty deal, but like at the time he was broke, so it was like good money, and he was having like a lot more money than he knew what to deal with. But then by the end of the contract was like running out, and he was just getting a check every month that was like a few pennies. He was kind of just like, guys, you don't need to keep sending me these.
Yeah, it's like insulting after that. And it is in fact called the G Hole. So
okay.
yeah, I just did a quick Google. So yeah, some of his animations were featured on that little hub. I think that was like strictly online.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was like my first foray with him. So like I knew who he was by the time Game Grumps came out, but I wasn't really into like the content until the Sonic Boom days, which is I guess like a year or so before you started getting into it, Robin. And and here's the thing about the dynamic between Aaron and Dan, and then Aaron and John. So like Aaron and John in their early phases were good at riffing off each other, right?
Yeah.
But I think back in that time, like John was very knowledgeable about the games, and he would actually put in some good input on like what a game did right.
Yeah.
For example, it's very easy to sit there and trash Sonic 06 forever and a day, but I remember like explicitly there's a time where John's like, you know what, this is not actually this here wasn't even a bad idea. Like there's a lot of potential with this idea and X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
and
that's
he kind of shot down like Aaron grasping at straws to find like bad content. So they kind of kept each other in check there.
Yeah, that's what I liked about him too. Is like he doesn't really review games anymore, but like he was well known for like being a guy who reviews games, and because of that, he like his like kind of like reviewer mindset like helped with the Let's Play too, because like he wouldn't just go, haha, this is bad. He would go, haha, this is bad. Actually, no, this is kind of good. They could have done something good with this here. It's just they executed it poorly or something, and I liked that. I thought that was it was good. Meanwhile, Aaron is just like, oh, look at how bad this is, and then nothing else. Which I mean,
it was working. It was working for views in his defense, and like in that early phase, you're trying to grow your channel, and I won't knock it at that stage. And like honestly, if anyone out there is looking to do like gaming content, especially now, you guys probably already heard the Sonic podcast, or if you watch me, you know how I feel about Sonic 06. Like I will not sit there and say, oh my god, this is one of the worst games ever. I can't believe that they released this game. I think that you have to bring to the table something a little bit new that everyone hasn't heard. I think it's very easy to sit there and trash a game, and I doubt a lot of these people have ever played Sonic 06, or they'll play like the first level and then like give their experience on that. And I'm not sitting here defending it. I'm not saying it's a good game, but if you can sit there and say like, solid qualities about a trash game, right? Like, okay, I see what they were trying to do here. Oh, okay, like you're starting to take things with a different perspective, and it's a more attractive set of content when you're not saying the same thing everyone else is saying. So that's just my opinion on there. Like, I would rather watch somebody that is saying, yeah, okay, so this game reviewed badly and everyone knows that it's notorious for being bad, but like what good is in this, and start going into that and those details. And I think John kind of did that like preemptively before everyone else on YouTube was like trashing this game, which is why I give him props for that.
Yeah. Same.
So yeah, then we get to like the Danny era, and here's the good part, and I think about their relationship. So they also riffed off of each other very well in the initial phase, right?
Yeah.
But Danny grew up on a lot of old NES titles and old like Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo titles. Like and then he kind of like stopped gaming for a while, and it shows, you know. So
Yeah.
his ignorance to like a lot of new games or series and things like that is what attracts a lot of the viewers to watching them play. I've seen the sentiment a lot where I want to see what Danny feels about this game, right? Like,
yeah, because like it's completely new to him, and he like his knowledge of games, at least at the time, hadn't progressed past the Sega Genesis pretty much.
right, and he like has this genuine appreciation for certain things in the games. Like I think like certain games, like even I think it was Wind Waker or something. Like it's a bunch of games where he'll sit there and you're like, oh my god, I love this. This looks pretty, or like oh my god, this is amazing. I love this. I like that mechanic. You know, that's so cute. Stuff like that. He'll say things like that, which a lot of the viewers came to see how he would react seeing those games for the first time. And yeah. I don't think that's by accident too. Like I think a lot of people like to see people experience the things that they grew up with, you know, unadulterated. And I think that's the charm that he brought on top of like bringing some comedy and stuff. And then he would also play a lot of the games he played in his childhood. And yeah, I think he ran out of a lot of those after a couple of years. And like Danny just never plays the games anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, what year would you say is the year that you kind of felt like they had kind of ran out of that passion that they had when they started?
I would say around like, when did Mario Maker 2 drop?
I think it was like last year or the year before.
I think it's 2019.
2019. Yeah, 2019.
Yeah, it was 2019 because I remember doing a video on it.
Yeah.
That's when I like first started. Okay, so
yeah.
I think it was around that time. I was watching them less around that time, but like, you know, there was still some funny stuff going on in a lot of their, like in a few of their videos, right? But I think when they switched editors and started playing Breath of the Wild, what year was that? No, not Breath of the Wild. Sorry, Skyward Sword. Like that's when it really took like the piss.
Yeah.
I think that was very recent. That must have been last year or 2020.
Something. Yeah. I don't know. I know that like 2019 is when I stopped watching because that's when I felt like they started to decline, and I just didn't want to stick around, I guess.
Yeah, I mean they had an era like around 2017, 18, around that time where they started branching out into other content. Like they had a YouTube originals series called Good Game.
Yeah, and it was like written by Justin Roiland, who's one of the people who writes Rick and Morty.
Was it Justin Roiland or is it Dan Harmon?
I think it was Justin Roiland.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible either.
It was a thing that they made, and that's, you know, good for them.
Yeah, YouTube originals were kind of like a weird
era
were as well.
Yeah, they're
like YouTube was really trying to get into like, you know, that Netflix space, which I don't knock them for, but like YouTubers don't make great actors.
They really don't. Have you seen anything like, okay, for the most part, like you need not look further than like some of the game theory originals that they did where Pat was acting, and I didn't. Yeah, okay, it's it becomes very clear why Pat stopped becoming a stage actor. I'll just say that.
But I thought that was like more of a real life thing. Like, hey, like I did a game theory on this, and I'm gonna try to see if I can get through like Five Nights at Freddy's, like in real life.
Yeah, it was. I don't know. It's interesting. The only thing, I only saw the free episode, so I didn't see that one. But I did see this clip that someone leaked from the production, where it was like behind the scenes of Matt Pat freaking out, and he goes, "Whoa, what? What the fuck was that?" And like the fuck was uncensored.
Yeah, man, just stick to game theory, man. I don't hate him, but just like his, I've grown out of his delivery as well. But
yeah,
maybe after this podcast, I'll watch his latest FNAF video.
My friend Matt's watched all of his latest FNAF security breach videos, and the best part is like he even linked me to it too. Like the last one was like basically, this doesn't make any sense. And I was like, oh, fuck, you messed up when Matt Pat is saying the lore doesn't make sense.
I think they did that on purpose, too. Like, Steel Wool Games probably just came out with that game and just didn't tie up any lore. They just kind of just separated it from everything else. Just like, here, take this for what it is. And everybody's like, but what about William Afton? What about my lore? What about Purple Guy? So that's like, I think like Matt's really grasping at straws here, but
yeah, who knows?
I guess that like that YouTube originals area, like especially for the Game Grumps, I think that was the peak for those channels. Because they were like the Game Grumps were doing another series known as Steam Train, and I don't think Aaron was really a part of that one too much. It was mostly like Dan and Ross O'Donovan. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And I still follow Ross. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, he does like his own content now, like, but he used to be a huge part of the Game Grumps videos and all that.
Yeah.
And then Susie was also like, this is Aaron's wife. She was a part of a lot of like she was featured in a lot of the Game Grumps content, and then she had like her own series known as Table Flip, which is funded by Maker Studios, where they would dress in like Renaissance costumes and stuff, or like Civil War costumes or whatever, and play board games, which a lot of people like that. And like I don't know, for some reason, like everyone has always been into whatever drama is generated by the Game Grumps. So like every episode, it's like, well, Susie doesn't look so happy. I wonder if her and Aaron are going through a fight. Or Dan seems to hate Ross. Like if you go to 2347, he says something to Ross, and then they both shut up. Like people used to analyze the episodes like that.
That's probably why they stopped doing it. It's just they're just tired of people like over analyzing everything.
I agree. So like I think that's the main reason, right? And like not to mention that they got rid of like Maker Studios after a while, just like everybody else did. They kicked those guys to the curb. But they started just releasing, Aaron and Denny content just strictly.
Yeah, just only them.
I don't know what at one point, like I guess you brought this up, right? But I think like a couple years after the whole Good Game series and stuff, like they just started getting back to that core content, and then like they started doing like a power hour thing, which was like a 10-minute video of them just messing around with stuff, and that was cool at first, but now it slowly transformed into like Aaron doing disgusting things with food.
Oh yeah, that's where that clip of like the really distorted Aaron with like the thing that keeps his mouth open having Danny shove M&Ms in his mouth comes from.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that got super popular, and so everything after that was just like Aaron messing around with food and stuff, and I stopped watching it because I don't like that type of humor.
Yeah, understandable.
I'm just like, this is gross, and I don't want to watch this. Like they used to go to like oh, today's power hour, and we're going to like an axe throwing place, and they did that, and I think they did medieval times at one point, and they were doing jousting, which I thought was all pretty cool stuff. Like, you're going around trying out stuff. They did an escape room at one point. And that's kind of what they were bringing to the table. And then it just became like, disgusting hour with Aaron toward like the end. And then they stopped doing it. I don't know if they brought it back since.
Yeah.
And they just focused on like core Game Grumps stuff. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the long summary of it. Now here we are. They sound completely exhausted. The viewership has gone down. The subs have stagnated. Robin and myself don't really watch them anymore because I feel like the humor is lost on me. It's kind of annoying to watch them play the games now because, Aaron has this thing where he, like, diverts Danny's attention from liking something. Like, he poisons Danny's food, and then he, like, poisons Danny's food. 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 And then he, like, poisons Danny's fo
Yeah,
his opinion of
it's
stuff.
like it's just become like I think both of us kind of don't like Aaron anymore. I think we're both like, yeah, Danny's cool, but Aaron, no. I could be speaking with myself, but
Well, it's weird because I used to like him, right?
Yeah.
Even though like I didn't agree with everything that he said on Game Grumps, like there were a lot of times where he said some meaningful stuff and like, talking about like social interactions and running a business, and like I think those real moments with the Game Grumps were what attracted a lot of viewers as well, where they sat there and they just got real about life. Like, Danny lived an interesting life as well, where he was kind of a nobody for a while and just like was a weed head for a bit, didn't do anything. And he will say this, like, it's not me, putting words in his mouth. And yeah, he was down on his luck a lot. And same with Aaron, like, he was from a poor town in Florida, like very close to me, like a few hours away.
yeah.
And so I know exactly what he's talking about. And then, like, just to see them, come up and do all these cool things and then like kind of just sound deflated after a while. And, Aaron seems very bitter about things. I don't know. It's just like, because I used to like how real the Game Grumps episodes got. And, I don't know if everyone's like, oh, is Dan quitting this week? Oh, I only see Dan being there for another couple of years. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't like to speculate about that stuff, but like, it just feels like at some point Aaron just got really bitter, and he's not even trying to hide the fact that he's raging at Sonic games for views anymore. Like with the Sonic Colors thing, he intentionally got the Nintendo Switch version because he heard that game was the most broken port out of all of them. And you can go back through his Twitter feed and see that. And then, like, when they did the Let's Play and they didn't really encounter many glitches, he got frustrated that they weren't encountering glitches.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, especially with the Sonic stuff, I have this opinion. A lot of other people in the community shared this with me, but, like, I think when he first played Sonic Adventure, I liked that playthrough. Because he wasn't trash talking it the whole time, but he was running into bugs. I'm like, how did you run into that bug? Like, sometimes I think that he tried his best to like break things when he could, because if you're looking for a bug, yeah, you're probably gonna find it. But whatever, if people feel that Sonic Adventure didn't age well, I'm not gonna disagree with them there. It's one of my favorite Sonic games, and like I always feel great when I replay it after like a couple years and stuff. But yeah, like after that point in time, now they started playing like a lot of Sonic games because it was generating the views and everyone wanted to hear Aaron rage. And then after like the first 2 times, it just got old and it just became a thing. It's like, well, Sonic just sucks, man. Sonic sucks. And like, you hear Danny like, oh, I've been hearing a lot about Sonic Colors. I really want to see that played, or I want to see Sonic Generations because that actually looks like a really good game. And, Aaron will just be like, nah, man, it sucks, man. And like Dan will just laugh it off and move on. But like, people who are like both Game Grumps fans and Sonic fans synonymously probably want Dan to see the game for what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why it upsets people, because they're just like, well, this is how you should feel about this game. Dan is like, oh, well, what? Nobody liked this game? And Aaron would be like, yeah, no one liked this game. Like everyone thought this game was trash, which is not true for the games that he's asking about and stuff. So
yeah.
And they purposely avoid those games up until like Sonic Colors Ultimate released with all the bugs for the Switch version, and that's when they decided to play it. So I do see Aaron's game there, and for some reason like Sega kept inviting him out to events and doing like Sonic promotional content. Like he is friends with Aaron Weber. Yeah, from the Sonic. I mean, Aaron has since moved on to like a higher paying job at Sega. But he's left Katie in place, who was on his team. So she's kind of like disassociated with the Grumps, which I think is a great
best,
move.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Because like I remember they started posting something on Instagram, like the Grumps, like, "Hey Sonic, I can tell you're ignoring us," and blah 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 blah, and like she just does not entertain it whatsoever.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, like you're not good for the promotion of the franchise. Like why do that?
Yeah, no, all you ever do is just sit there and shit talk the games and say that all of them are bad and then intentionally try and make them look worse by intentionally going out of your way to get the worst versions of the game and with the most glitches and everything. If I was working as the social media manager or anything, I would ignore you like as much as possible.
They sent him to I think this is when Sonic Forces was coming out, which is 2017. It's crazy how much time has passed. They sent him out to Japan to go meet with the Sega team and everything.
Yeah.
And like I think he even interviewed somebody, and I'm just like, why Aaron out of all these people? Like, you know, like Gerard I think is a bigger Sonic fan than Aaron is, and like, you know, I think he had an equal amount of views at the time. There's a lot of like Sonic tubers they could have picked to do that, but they flew out Aaron, and like that kind of upset a lot of people. And I think after that is when the shtick kind of like died on a lot of fans.
Yeah. I definitely agree.
So
I remember. Sorry, just to wrap this up real quick. I remember watching their Sonic and the Black Knight playthrough, and I grew up playing Sonic and the Black Knight, so I don't know. There was like this one thing where Aaron was like, "Man, this just sucks. Who thought this was a good idea?" And I just remember at that point being like, "Okay, this guy's full of shit." Because like he was like, I don't know, he was like doing like weird stuff, and it didn't feel like he was even playing the game the way it was telling you how to play it.
yeah, no, that definitely happened in Sonic and the Black Knight. Like he was just running and waggling the Wii remote.
Yeah, like he wasn't playing the game how the game was telling you to play it. He was just like messing around and acting like, I don't know. He was like, I don't understand what the game's telling me to do, therefore it's bad. Is how it's kind of gone down with that and a few other games too, I feel.
It's ironic because like I remember in an early playthrough he was like mocking an angry video game nerd like copier.
Just say irate gamer. We all know who you're talking about.
Was it irate gamer?
I mean, probably. I remember he used to talk smack on that guy a lot on the show.
It's because no, it's not irate gamer. It could be him, but it was like another guy who's not since posted. I can't remember who it was, but you can actually find like the specific video because whatever, they later came out and said that no, we're not talking about that guy, but I think it was just to protect him from being bullied and stuff, which they didn't name drop him in the video. Like of course fans went and tracked this guy down. Yeah. So anyway, it's just funny because he was mimicking this guy, like I think it's in the Mickey Mousecapades playthrough. And it's hilarious. Like he's mimicking this guy the whole time. Like, oh, this game has doo-doo ass cheeks, and like,
oh yeah, that. Clip.
Yeah. So like, it just gets worse and worse and worse, and like Danny's there cracking up, like he can't breathe, and like it's a great episode, right? But he eventually becomes that person.
Yeah.
Funny enough, like,
yeah,
you became the thing that you're making fun of.
Yeah, and also, just on the topic of not understanding what the game is telling you. He was playing, like, funnily enough, I think it was Sonic Heroes or something, and he was going up against, like, the, like, Metal Sonic fight at the end or something, and the game is, like, telling him, this is what you need to do, like, on screen to defeat the boss, and he's in the clip saying, this game isn't telling me what to do, this is so bullshit. And it's just, it's the most...
It's, like, literally on the screen.
It's literally on the screen, and it's saying at this point it couldn't be more obvious, and he's like just not getting it, and it's the most frustrating thing.
So I think they went through an era where Matt and Ryan from Super Mega were editing.
Yeah.
And I think like that was around the time of like the Super Mario Maker 2 episodes, so like things were kind of like stable at that point, and like they seemed to have a good relationship with them. And of course Matt and Ryan kind of left to focus on their own channel.
Yeah.
Which has become pretty successful after the fact too. Those guys used to work with Markiplier too at a very early age. I think they used to edit for him, and then they had a falling out with Mark too, because I think he was like very particular about what he wanted.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, that was like a little thing there too, and I don't know, like I don't know if Mark associates with the Game Grumps because he used to be around them a lot too, and then like I'm not sure if that was like the falling out for everybody, but I won't speculate. But like Matt and Ryan left to keep up their own channel, and then they hired this new guy, and I think this is around the time they did. Maybe it was Breath of the Wild. No, I think it was like Skyward Sword, but I forgot when he debuted. But that guy like came in and everybody hated his edits. Like he was just not funny. But then eventually like they found out that this new guy Ben was like leaving like inappropriate comments on like a minor's Instagram or whatever.
Oh, well, that's not
And
good.
it came to light and everybody's like, yo, explain this, right? And then people were like talking about it for a while and the Game Grumps wouldn't address it, and then Aaron said, don't worry, we'll finally address that. Like we'll be talking about what's happening there very soon or whatever. And they just kept Ben and they stopped using his name. They just stopped saying, hey Ben. Now they just say, hey editor. And you can tell it's him, like based on his his edits. So like it wasn't a thing where he fired him because he really wanted this guy and like this is his friend and stuff. So like his staff sometimes is very like questionable in that sense.
Okay.
So I think around that
right.
time is when I like really got annoyed with the whole like thing, because that's a legitimate concern, right?
Yeah. All right. Now I'm just pissed off. Like I'm just actually pissed off after hearing that, because like he publicly disassociated from like Pro Jared after he was like falsely accused of being a pedophile, and then this guy is like actually doing some questionable shit, and he just keeps him on.
Right.
What a fucking
And
hypocrite.
I forgot the exact comment, and it was just definitely plain as day.
Yeah.
And the editor even apologized, so he's like confirming that he did do that. I mean,
he's
whatever. It's social media. You can't like erase that or. So
yeah, no, that's actually fucked up. I'm genuinely upset about that now. I'm like actually pissed off.
yeah, like that is what ruined it for me, because they kind of swept that under the rug, and he kept him around because oh okay, well, I don't know if it was just the inconvenience of finding another editor. I don't know if they have since found another editor.
I hope they did. I hope they got
Don't
rid of
quote
that
me on
fucker.
that. But like at that same time, like that's when they started changing how their YouTube thumbnails looked and how they're titling, because they used to say, hey, we're playing. They would like put a title, they'd put like the little pipe in between, and then they put like Super Mario World Part 1, and they used to put parts at the end, so like you can tell what is next. They're not labeling the parts anymore, and they're just releasing videos. So when it got confusing to me, and it was very hard for me to start catching up, and then the thumbnails like looked like some wacky paint project, I was just like, yo, this is kind of annoying.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Low quality pictures of Aaron and Dan just kind of like slapped on there, and it's like, I don't know, just a lot of stuff going. Like again, no ill will towards both of them, because I know that we were talking about it for like the last 20 minutes, like where they went downhill. But
yeah, no ill will towards either of them. Well, maybe Aaron.
Like I honestly think that they could clean up their act a little bit. Like okay, so this is based on like the most recent one I've seen. There's been other videos since like my last watch of the Game Grumps, but I think they definitely need some energy. If not, like a little break would be nice. Like maybe just kind of think outside the box a little bit for new episodes, because like if you're tired of it, the audience is gonna hear that. But also just kind of go back to what worked. Like the thumbnails were branded properly, and had the parts, and everything was kind of clean. Like I don't know, they're just kind of going with what they think the algorithm needs to stay afloat.
Yeah,
but I don't know, man. It definitely doesn't work for me. So I don't know. Maybe some little kid it works for, but not me.
yeah, not us. Definitely not us. But yeah, I hope that maybe they take a break and they come back fully energized and willing to do new stuff again. But like, I at the rate they're going, I can just see them just running the channel into
So I mean, I think they have like a set of pretty dedicated fans. I mean, right now they're at like 200,000 views a day or so, or like, sorry, 100K a day, I think.
Yeah, like it's by no means a small number, but it's nothing compared to what they used to be pulling in.
Right.
Yeah.
I think they used to hit like 400,000 per video, and they used to release like 3 videos a day.
Yeah, it used to be crazy. They were doing
So that's like, you know, collectively, that's like well over 1 million, if not more. And then those would always build up to like the millions after a while. And that was, you know, that was just the first day, and then it would always hit millions after that. So, like, I think their branding was what got them. They looked official. Things looked clean. I don't think they've done much to really improve that recently, and that's probably why.
Yeah, probably. I mean, like I don't think I have much more to say, honestly.
All right. Well, I mean, just to go to present day right now, they're working on like a live show called Scribble Showdown. I don't think Danny's a part of that, but that's Aaron and a bunch of other artists that go to like different towns and tour and stuff. So I think that's like his focus now. And then like, you know, Game Grumps is on the back burner, but he's working with like, you know, Jaded Animations, which she has a following, like one hell of a following for herself. So
oh yeah, no, I like her.
You have these big artists on stage, so it's. Yeah, I mean, I think that's his focus right now. And then Game Grumps is kind of like the usual thing. You just get it out of the way. You get your 100,000 views, collect a little bit, and, you know, keep going somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, I might check in after this episode. Let me see what they're doing.
Yeah, maybe I'll check.
Let's see what they cleaned up. Like, they posted something today and yesterday. They're still posting daily, so there's that. They're better than me.
I don't know. I think I'm personally a guy who's like quality over quantity. So I think it's good that you don't post daily, because I think I'd probably get sick of you. Yeah. Hey, I know we're friends and everything, but if you post daily, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
It's all about that monthly content. No, that bi-yearly content. You guys know about that. Internet historian, I'm looking at you.
Make
45 million views per video or some shit like that.
Frederick Knudsen, you haven't posted in 2 years. Please come back.
I don't know if that's like a marketing technique, or these guys just like, you know what, whatever I drop is gonna hit the mills.
I think
so
some people
I'll just work.
I mean, like, well, the thing with Internet Historian too is that like for a while he was doing like Sundance rejets and stuff on his second channel. And then he had this channel that was a secret for a while, where he like he and his friends would like play the role of like these internet or like of like these billionaires. Like he played Mark Zuckerberg and his friend played Jeff Bezos, and they would just like tell the stories of like games and stuff.
Was that incognito mode?
No, it's story mode. Incognito mode is his second channel.
Yeah, so man has 3 channels, and I've only been watching one. So maybe.
Oh, he has way more than 3 channels. He has way more. He has way more. There's like so many hidden channels that he like hasn't told anyone about. That's how it was for story mode for a while. Is like it was just a secret channel that he didn't advertise at all, and like I just got it recommended one day, and I was like, this is fucking Internet Historian, isn't it? This is just him. This is him pretending to be Mark Zuckerberg with this JPEG of Mark Zuckerberg and acting like him.
Game Internet Historian. Yeah, he okay. So he has 2 of them like linked to Internet Historian.
Yeah, he's got like 2 of them, but he's also got like a live stream channel that he doesn't use anymore. He's got like all these different channels.
Yeah, so that's the new wave. So if you're thinking of doing a YouTube channel, just post every 6 months to a year.
Post like a big documentary, or like do like Oki's Weird Stories or Night Dots, or like I don't know, like investigate really deep into like true crime and stuff, and make a list out of them like Lazy Masquerade does.
Who's also pretty damn good at. I like honestly I wonder how much editing time Lazy takes. I don't think it is very intensive to make the videos that he makes.
Yeah. But I think
he's branded it so well,
yeah.
and like the way he, speaks, it just it fits. So it's good. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure if it takes too long to make the videos, but I think the research that he puts into them might be a good chunk of it.
Yeah, I don't know like how comfortable I would be with that content. Like either like when I even when I do Mentok Tober videos, and like it's not that I feel spooked out by like scary Sonic fan games or anything like that. It's just like when you're editing in and you're delving into dark content for like hours on end, like it does like have an emotional effect.
It's kind of got an effect. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't like him doing true crime. Like sometimes like I wonder how that affects him.
Yeah, I don't know how people like Internet Investigator or that guy Plague Moth can like go deep dive into like all this like not safe for life content for like their YouTube career, and I'm like just sitting there like I don't even watch Plague Moth videos because I look at the title and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, like I don't want to hear I don't want to see not safe for life stuff.
I don't want to fucking learn about like where the source of this snuff footage is. I think I'm good.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's people out there who I guess it's a chip on the shoulder for them, like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like fair enough. Like if you can stomach that stuff, good for you.
Right.
But like, I'm into like horror stuff. I do like some true crime stuff, but like, even I have my limits.
Right. Yeah, and like same for me. Like I love my Halloween content, but like, when you're editing, that's like it's a lot of hours into that, right? So let's say that like if I'm making a 20-minute video, it's going to take me about 15 hours to edit that. So that's 15 hours about me hearing like, oh, dark Sonic game and death and despair, and I have to like hear my voice in like these creepy forms and fashions, and it's not like I'm like, oh my god, but it's just like
it's like a little unnerving,
Yeah, you feel a little exhausted after that, like mentally, like you could only like just grind that so much. So shout out to those true. I guess that's like the real talent there. Like shout out to those true crime channels for like being consistent with that and stomaching that for everybody.
Yeah, and I mean like even just like listening to the videos every now and then, like sometimes you like listening to this and you're like, oh, that seems like cool, like like with a Lazy Masquerade video I watched earlier today. It was like 3 dart things on Reddit or something, and I was like, okay, this seems like it'll be like good background noise. And then the second thing in the video is like a deep, in-depth description of like what rabies does to the human body. And I'm just I'm just sitting there like now I have this fear of now I'm like, okay, now I need to become even more of a recluse, that way nothing can ever bite me and I don't have to deal with this like mind melting disease that has no cure.
Right. This is the last time I yell at raccoons for being in my garbage.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, I remember that one, and you see like a guy like suffering the symptoms like on screen, like you post that.
Oh yeah, no, it's not good.
Yeah, go look at that at your own risk, audience.
Yeah.
Like if you want to know what rabies does to just the body, I mean more specifically the human body, but like animals are going through it, man. I've seen like a video of like I think it was a rabid fox like pulling up to somebody's door, and like this guy had the door open to film it. I'm like, no, don't film it.
Don't film it. Don't do that shit.
You guys like it's rabies sightings is like a very serious thing.
Yeah.
Like the government will send somebody out to go hunt whatever animal you saw down. They'll investigate it to go like put it out of its misery. There's no curing it or whatever, and it's probably within its best interest to put that animal down because they are going through it. So
yeah.
And if they bite things, then now you have like an infestation in the area, and yeah, we don't want that.
This episode got really fucking dark all of a sudden.
It went content.
It went from just us talking about like Game Grumps for 40 minutes, and the last 20 minutes we were like, "Hey yo, so here's some nightmare-inducing shit."
Well, I mean, hey audience, do you guys like the Game Grumps still? Like, is there any content that they haven't you're feeling these days. I don't know. Leave some comments.
Do you feel like
maybe we're being too harsh? Maybe they've cleaned up their act recently.
You know, maybe we're being too harsh. Maybe you go under every tweet they make and say you fell off L plus ratio or something stupid like that. I don't know. Tell us what you think in the comments below. Engage our channel so we can make views and money, please.
Oh, also one more scandal that I forgot to bring up that people probably will call out if they ended up listening to this episode. Like, why didn't you talk about Danny's like sex scandal?
Oh yeah,
all right,
that.
So like, this guy basically like used his status to sleep with fans who were of age, by the way. So let me explicitly say that.
Yeah, they were of age.
And it was all consensual. I thought the internet kind of overreacted. Like, it's kind of an asshole move, yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I do think the internet they were trying to cancel him.
They were trying to cancel him. They said it was grooming, which I'm not.
It's not though. Like, come on. If you're like an adult, it's not grooming.
You can argue. Older. You can argue there's a power imbalance or something, but like, yeah.
There's that too. But like, okay, first off, like on Twitter, like the whole grooming thing got out of hand because everyone is calling everything grooming.
Yeah.
Grooming is when you're an adult and you are influencing a child to eventually sleep with you or, like marry you or things like that. Like very disgusting stuff that adults will do to make it seem like what they're doing is or saying is not a bad thing, and they're trying to get you to warm up to them because children are very malleable like that, right? They don't fully understand. That is grooming. But I've seen situations where people have called out like, oh, Danny's sleeping with a younger fan, not like a teenager or anything, like someone in their 20s who was starstruck and he did those things and then kind of just ghosted them, which again, it's fucked up. But like, to cancel him over that, I don't agree with that. I don't think that lasted very long, but there was like a very vocal part of social media was trying to get Danny canceled.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't really have anything else to add to that.
Well, at least I reported it because
yes,
I know somebody. Like, I'm getting very particular now because like I'm just used to my own videos where people are like, why didn't you talk about X, Y, and Z? So there you have it.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Or some people will watch like 2 minutes of my video and then they'll be like, how come you didn't talk about so and so and so? And I'm like, I literally just comment this timestamp.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, man, watch the whole video. Like, come on, yo. Really?
Yeah, that's the thing with like people. They have short attention spans these days.
If you're gonna criticize, watch the whole video. Like, you don't have to watch the whole video, but if you're going to criticize, like, watch the whole video.
Yeah, it's simple as that.
Anyway. So that is the famous Game Grumps episode.
Yes, this is the long-awaited episode 16. The Game Grumps episode.
I don't know how coherently I got my thoughts out. I was like,
honestly,
half factual and half opinionated, and I don't know if it meshed very well.
I don't know. I think it was just like us, like rambling the entire episode, and who knows? Maybe this is going to be the most viewed episode of all time on our channel.
It's always the one that you think is the worst video.
It's always the one where you're like, wow, this is dog shit, and what do you know? Our first episode is still the most popular.
Well. What's going on, new people? Thanks for all 1 million of your views.
Yeah, thanks for the 2 million views this video has, definitely, for sure.
Just in case, go follow Robin's Newgrounds account and go follow my main channel, the Mentok, on YouTube.
Yes, they're both linked in the description. All of our socials are down there. Check out Ricky, our editor.
And Twitter.
Yeah.
I need more Twitter followers.
Yeah, follow him on Twitter. Don't follow me on Twitter. I do have an account, but it's only to retweet anything at Studios posts and tweet out my articles.
Yeah, I want my random thoughts to be validated by my subscribers, so go follow.
All right.
I mean, normally they're related to like gaming and the channel and stuff, so like you're pretty safe with me. I've seen some pretty bad Twitter accounts, so
yeah. All right. Well, I think that's it for today. So
Episode 16.
Episode
Sweet
16. Yep. All right.
Like, should we do like a birthday celebration for this or something?
I think we have to wait until the anniversary of our first episode to do any birthdays.
Oh, it's about time, not the amount. I
Yeah.
got you. Okay.
Well,
Alright.
it is about the amount, but only when you reach like 100 or something with a 0 at the end.
Who decided that? How come we can't celebrate our third episode?
I think
All right, happy third episode. We did it.
I think we sound vain and narcissistic if we pat ourselves on the back for making 3 episodes of a podcast.
What if we are total narcs?
Yeah, what
You
if
know
we're
what I mean?
what if we're just total narcissist assholes and we just pretend that we're not?
It's the greatest podcast in the world. What do you mean?
Yeah.
All right, bring us home.
All right. Thank you all for watching today's episode of Whatever Whenever. We will see you all later.
Peace.